Hey there! Are you one of the millions of Americans struggling with household debt? In 2024, the average American household debt hit a record $17.3 trillion. Yes, you heard that right, trillions. But what does this mean for you? And how can you break free from it before it drags you down? In this video, we're diving deep into the shocking truth about household debt, how it affects you, and 5 expert strategies to pay it off faster. Let's get into it. Debt in America is like this big hairy monster hiding under the bed. We know it's there, but we're too scared to look at it straight on. Well, I'm here to tell you that ignoring it won't make it go away. In fact, it'll probably just grow bigger and scarier. We're talking trillions of dollars in debt here, folks. That's more money than most of us can even fathom. It's easy to feel hopeless when you're drowning in debt. You're working hard, barely making ends meet, and those credit card bills just keep piling up. It's like you're stuck in quicksand, and the more you struggle, the deeper you sink. But let me tell you something, there's hope. There's always hope. Debt isn't just a number, it's stress, anxiety, and fear that many of us carry around every day. If you're paying off student loans, credit cards, and a mortgage, it can feel like you're working hard but not getting anywhere. But did you know that there are people in the US who are actually reducing their household debt by implementing smart financial strategies? Let's break down how this happened. Here's a quick story about Sarah, a 35-year-old teacher from New York. She was overwhelmed by $100,000 in combined debt. Let me tell you, that's a lot of money for anyone, let alone a hardworking teacher. It felt like a mountain she'd never climb. Imagine the weight of that debt on her shoulders, the sleepless nights worrying about how she'd ever pay it off. But Sarah, she's a fighter. Instead of giving in to despair, she decided to take control of her finances. She sat down, took a hard look at her spending habits, and realized she could make some changes. And you know what? It worked. After focusing on her debt management strategy and cutting unnecessary expenses, she was able to reduce it by $30,000 in just 12 months. That's right, folks, $30,000 gone. Now, Sarah's story isn't a miracle, it's a testament to the power of taking control of your finances. And let me tell you, if Sarah can do it, so can you. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, how debt impacts your life. It's not just about the numbers, folks, it's about your well-being. Debt is a sneaky devil. It creeps into your life and starts squeezing the joy out of everything. It's like a dark cloud hanging over your head, casting a shadow on your dreams and aspirations. Debt doesn't just affect your bank account, it can affect your health and relationships too. Studies show that people with high levels of debt report higher stress levels and lower life satisfaction. And let me tell you, stress is a killer. It eats away at you, affecting your sleep, your health, and your relationships. You're constantly on edge, worried about money, and it creates this tension that seeps into every aspect of your life. It strains your relationships, causing arguments and resentment. You're snapping at your spouse, your kids, your friends, and you don't even realize why. But deep down, it's that debt monster whispering in your ear, you're not good enough, you'll never get ahead. If you're not careful, debt can hold you back from building wealth, buying a home, or even saving for retirement. It's like you're stuck in a hamster wheel, running and running but never getting anywhere. You're working your tail off just to make those minimum payments, and it feels like you'll never be free. It's time to break free from the debt trap, folks. It's time to take back control of your life and start living with intention. It's time to stop letting debt dictate your future and start building a life you love. It's important to break the cycle before it takes a toll on your well-being, and trust me, it's possible. I've seen it time and time again. People just like you, who were drowning in debt, took charge of their finances and turned their lives around. Alright folks, let's get down to brass tacks and talk strategy. The first weapon in our arsenal against the debt monster is the debt snowball method. This method is all about building momentum, like a snowball rolling down a hill, gaining speed and power as it goes. It's a psychological game changer because you start seeing results quickly, which keeps you motivated and on track. Think of it this way, you've got a bunch of debts, big and small, all vying for your attention. It's overwhelming, right? So instead of tackling them all at once, we're going to prioritize and knock them out one by one. The debt snowball method is all about paying off your smallest debts first, then working your way up. We're talking about that pesky credit card bill, the personal loan from your brother-in-law, or that medical bill that's been hanging around longer than you'd like to admit. Those are the little victories we're after. Once you've identified your smallest debt, it's time to attack it with a vengeance. Throw every spare penny you have at it, cut back on unnecessary expenses, and watch as that balance shrinks faster than you ever thought possible. Psychologically, it's a game changer because once you pay off that first debt, you feel a sense of accomplishment. And that, my friends, is what we call a snowball effect. That feeling of accomplishment, that sense of progress, it's addictive. It fuels your motivation to keep going, to tackle the next debt, and the next, until you're standing on top of that mountain of debt, free and clear. Here's how you can apply it. List all your debts from smallest to largest. Pay off the smallest first while maintaining minimum payments on the others. Remember, consistency is key. Don't get discouraged if it feels slow at first. Just keep chipping away at that debt, and before you know it, you'll be celebrating your first victory. Now, if you're more of a numbers person, someone who likes to see the biggest impact on your bottom line, then the debt avalanche method might be more your speed. This method is all about efficiency, about tackling the debt with the highest interest rate first to save you the most money in the long run. It's like performing financial triage. You identify the debt that's bleeding you dry with those exorbitant interest rates and focus your energy on stopping the bleeding. Think of it this way. Every dollar you pay towards a high-interest debt is a dollar less that's being eaten away by those pesky interest charges. So if you've got a credit card with a 20% interest rate and a car loan with a 5% interest rate, you'll save more money in the long run by tackling that credit card debt first, even if the car loan has a larger balance. Now I know what you're thinking, Dave, this sounds complicated, but trust me, it's not as intimidating as it seems. Just like with the debt snowball method, you start by listing out all your debts, but this time you arrange them from highest to lowest interest rate. Then you channel your inner financial warrior and focus all your extra payments on that top dog debt, while making minimum payments on the others. Alternatively, you can use the debt avalanche method. This targets the debt with the highest interest rate first. It might take a little longer to see the results, but it saves you more money in the long run. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but Dave, won't it take longer to see progress with this method? And you know what? You're right, it might. But remember, we're playing the long game here, folks. We're not looking for quick fixes. We're looking for lasting financial freedom. And in the long run, the debt avalanche method will save you more money on interest payments, which means you'll be debt-free faster and have more money in your pocket to build wealth and achieve your financial goals. Now folks, let's talk about the foundation of any good debt-crushing plan: budgeting. I know, the dreaded B word. It sounds about as exciting as watching paint dry, right? But trust me on this one, budgeting is your secret weapon in the fight against debt. It's like shining a light on your finances, revealing where your money is going and giving you the power to take control. Start budgeting like a pro. Track your income and expenses using apps like Mint or YNAB. These tools give you a clear picture of where your money is going. You can see exactly how much you're spending on groceries, entertainment, those daily lattes, everything. Knowledge is power, folks. Once you know where your money is going, you can start making informed decisions about where to cut back. And let me tell you, there are always areas where you can trim the fat. It might mean packing your lunch instead of eating out every day, saying no to those impulse purchases, or finding creative ways to save money on entertainment. Cutting back on daily expenses, like that daily coffee run, could free up hundreds of dollars to put towards your debt. Think about it. A $5 latte every day adds up to $150 a month. That's $1,800 a year. Imagine what you could do with an extra $1,800. Now I'm not saying you have to live like a monk and deprive yourself of all the joys in life, but I am saying that by making small, conscious choices about your spending, you can free up a significant amount of money to throw at your debt. And the best part is, once you get into the habit of budgeting and tracking your expenses, it becomes second nature. You start making smarter financial decisions automatically, and that's how you build lasting financial freedom. Imagine this. In 5 years, what would your life look like without debt holding you back? More savings, more opportunities, and less stress. It's possible, but it takes commitment and the right strategies. Start today. Use the tips we discussed and make a plan that works for you. And if you want personalized tips and advice, check out the resources in the description below. Remember, the path to financial freedom starts with one small step. And if this video helped, make sure you share it with friends and family who need to hear this. Let's build a community of people taking control of their finances. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.